Hello everybody and welcome back, where today we are fastly approaching the PSVR2's second anniversary. But before we get into the content cycle of talking about my favourite games from the last 2 years, the headset as a whole 2 years later, and whatever Sony cooks up on the anniversary if they do so, let's take a look at some news that might get swept under the rug a bit if any news comes up from Sony on the anniversary. So, there is quite a lot to talk about here. Before we get into it though, we are trying to get to 20,000 subs. That is a ridiculous number. Any help towards that would be very much appreciated. And thank you to our patrons and YouTube members for making this possible day after day and week after week. First off, I've been talking to the Max devs who make Snow Scout and 90s Extreme Skiing, and they've been hard at work making sure that some of the best parts of 90s Extreme Skiing, like the better skiing physics and the better load times and a couple of quality of life features, have come over to Snow Scout. That should be out about now, and I've got a couple more updates in the works for the future, so please keep a lookout. If you've not played Snow Scout, it is essentially a skiing adventure with you at the heart of it as you open a ski resort just before the season begins. I really enjoyed it. It's a fantastic indie game, and now it'll be even better. Next up, Secret of the Mimic has disappeared from all mentions of PSVR2. We covered this a little bit more in depth the other day, so please take a look at that if you have not. But essentially, the PSVR2 tag for this game is gone, and we don't think that it's cancelled completely. I would hedge a bet that it's probably delayed and coming later. We know Steel will have had quality control issues with their games before, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were finishing up and polishing up the game on the flat screen before dedicating their resources to the VR port of it. Take a look back at the launch of Security Breach. That game was a bit of a buggy mess and really unoptimized, so hopefully we have a better launch for Secret of the Mimic, and splitting the timelines between the VR launch and the flat launch hopefully should result in a better end product, just like it did for Help Wanted when that launched as a VR product and then got flat screen support later. Speaking of support, Phasmophobia will be getting microphone recognition support sometime this week. We're not exactly sure when. It could have been yesterday or today, to be honest, so it might even be out already. But we know it's coming at some point, and this essentially will allow you to talk to the ghosts. They'll be able to hear what you say. If you speak their name over and over, they'll get angry. You'll actually be able to speak to them on the spirit box, which is fantastic to see. It's a feature people have been wanting for a very long time, and we'll definitely take a look at it when it comes out, either later on this week or over the next day or so, because it could be out already. They haven't given us a time. Next up, unfortunately, it seems like Metro underperformed in terms of the financial expectations of management of the Embracer Group. And while they say that the positive reception from critics is very much appreciated, yeah, the game apparently didn't sell as well as they expected it to, which is a real shame because it is a great game. If you haven't got it, I would encourage you to pick it up maybe on the next sale, especially if you're a Metro fan and somehow haven't picked it up already. Let's hope that the sales can keep accumulating over the next year or so. However, in my opinion, I don't really think it sold too badly, to be honest, as I think, if I remember right, it was listed as one of the main drivers of revenue for Embracer recently, so it obviously sold a fair bit. I just don't know whether it's broken even or made its budget back. I doubt it's made its budget back, maybe, if they're saying it underperformed, but who knows. A new PSVR2 game got announced that's inspired by Pokemon Snap, and it's called Monster Snap. Now, this is an on-rails game, which usually would have me immediately not interested, but there's a difference here. Essentially, even though you're on rails going around the world, you're taking photos of cryptids with your camera as you go along, and it is launching on all VR platforms, including PSVR2. This is developed by Mooduk Games, and includes creatures like mermaids, werewolves, and unicorns, and I'm assuming a couple that might be a little bit more scary than that. They're targeting Q1 2026 release window, so a little while to go, but PSVR2 is confirmed. Mech fighting game Underdogs has also appeared as a physical pre-order, saying it'll release on the 4th of April 2025, which isn't too far away. Now, it's unclear whether the game will also launch on this date on digital storefronts as well. I imagine it'll either be on this date or earlier, obviously. Again, I am away during this time, but I'll speak to Pup Games, who are the publishers of this, and see if I can get my hands on it a little bit early for you guys, because God, it just seems like everything's releasing while I'm not in the country. Hopefully the stars align though, and I'll get my hands on it for you guys. But this is essentially a physics-based mech brawler which has unanimous praise on all other platforms, and it'll be a great addition to the PSVR2 lineup. We also have an official return date for the VR Game Showcase. March 11th, it'll be back at about 5 PM GMT here in the UK. Unless the clocks go back or forward again, I can't remember. But around 5 or 6 here in the UK, 9 AM PT for definite. And we're promised a look at some brand new PSVR2 games, from Flat to VR, as well as a look at some of Flat to VR's games that they've already revealed. A host of new ones, another look at Hitman as well. IOI, if you are listening to this, please email me back. and a bunch more from industry veterans and newcomers alike. It's going to be a really good one. I'm going to be streaming it somewhere, somehow. If Brian is doing a show over on Without Parole, I'll be over there. If not, like last time, it was just me, I'll be doing it on the channel here. So come in, stop by, say hello, and see what reveals we have lined up for us. And finally, some news that I'd rather not be delivering, to be honest, but unfortunately Toast Interactive has had to close their offices, as they put out an important message earlier saying to everyone in the VR community, we are closing the Toast Interactive office. It's a heartbreaking decision that we never wanted to make. The majority of our talented staff has suffered redundancies, and we will assist where we can with their next journey. We're incredibly grateful and proud of everything the team has accomplished. So much talent and passion went into the creation of Max Mustard, and every single accolade speaks volumes. We will continue to improve Richie's Plank experience and Max Mustard with a leaner approach. We want to thank and acknowledge everyone who has been part of our journey at Toast. Sincerely, Tony and Richard. Now, this just fucking sucks, man. I don't know what else to say. Max Mustard is the peak of the VR platforming genre, in my opinion. No other VR platformer on PSVR2 comes close. It was so polished, just fantastic, and it sold fairly well, it seems, on PSVR2, a lot better than they thought it would. And still, we're unfortunately here, which just sucks. If you see any of the devs on social media just looking for work or anything like that, please give them like a repost, anything like that to boost their visibility, basically, because these devs are fantastic. As for Richie's Plank experience, it was announced for PSVR2 a little while ago. I think it is still coming to PSVR2 despite this, I want to say. And it's good that they will be supporting the two games with fixes and stuff if need be. But that is just very, very depressing news. And I hope everybody who has lost their job there manages to find work somewhere else, because they're really, really talented. A bit of a rough note to end on there, but that'll do us for today. I think over the next couple of days we'll be doing some anniversary stuff, which should be pretty fun. I will be reviewing Dodgecraft at some point, that will be coming around, and I will probably revisit Alien Rogue Incursion with the new patch to see what's going on there, as well as the new Phasmophobia update when that comes around. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.